Rain slapped the pavement like it was trying to erase the night, but the city refused to sleep. Seoul glowed in streaks of blue and gold, neon bleeding across puddles that stretched along the deserted alleyway. Amina's breath trembled in her chest. Her shoes were soaked, her curls stuck to her forehead, and her fingers were shaking so badly she could barely hold a small brown envelope pressed against her chest. She had been followed. She knew it. She could feel it. The prickling heat crawling up her spine, the shadow that appeared and disappeared behind cars, the quiet footsteps that always match her own. She shouldn't have come out tonight. She shouldn't have stayed so late at the cafe. She shouldn't have ever met him. But fate didn't ask for permission. Amina adjusted her hood and ducked deeper into the alley, heart pounding so loudly she swore the whole city could hear it. Her lips parted, desperate for air, desperate for escape. The rain only grew heavier, drowning out the distant traffic, muffling every sound except footsteps. Slow, heavy, intentional. She froze. Her throat tightened. Her fingers dug into the wet envelope. Keep walking. The voice wasn't loud. It wasn't rushed. It didn't even sound threatening. But it slid straight into her bloodstream like cold steel. She spun around. He stepped into the neon light. Tall, broad shoulders, black coat, dripping with rain. Dark hair plastered his forehead. Jaws sharp enough to cut through the night. His eyes, God, his eyes. They burned with a coldness the rain couldn't put out. Jiwoon, the same man she should have forgotten after that one reckless night. But forgetting him had been impossible. His presence wrapped around her like smoke, heavy and dangerous, laced with something unspoken, something that made her chest ache. He stopped a few feet away from her, staring at her as if she'd stolen the entire night. Or maybe as if he was trying to decide whether she was real. You're following me, Amina whispered, voice cracking. You ran from me, he answered. The rain slid off his coat in a slow, heavy stream. He didn't blink. He didn't move. He just watched her, every detail of her face reflecting in his dark eyes. I didn't run, she stuttered. His eyebrow lifted slightly, a silent challenge. She swallowed. Fine. I walked away. You disappeared, he corrected softly. Lightning flashed, illuminating the edges of his jaw. He wasn't yelling. He didn't look angry. But something in his voice felt dangerous. Not because he wanted to hurt her, but because it sounded like he couldn't understand why she had left him at all. Amina stepped back. He stepped forward. Don't. Her voice trembled. Ji-woon's eyes narrowed, as if those four letters physically offended him. You're scared of me? He asked. She opened her mouth, closed it, then nodded, barely. The corner of his jaw tightened, and a muscle beneath his eye twitched. Good, he murmured. I'd be more concerned if you weren't. A cold shiver ran down her spine. Rain thundered between them, but nothing softened the tension stretching the space like a pulled string ready to snap. Amina hugged the envelope tighter. Her fingers pressed against it too firmly, and she didn't realize it until Ji-woon's gaze dropped to her hands. His entire expression shifted. What is that? His voice dropped, low and deadly. She stepped back, clutching it to her chest. It's none of your business. Amina, her name sounded different when he said it, like a secret, like a promise. He took another step. She felt the wall behind her before she noticed she'd moved. His hand reached out, slow, deliberate, not touching her, but close enough that warmth radiated between them. Give it to me? No. Amina. His voice deepened. It's mine, she whispered. Something flickered in his eyes, something like fear buried under layers of steel. He wasn't afraid of enemies, bullets, or blood, but he was afraid of this envelope. Amina, what did you find out? She pressed her lips together. I'm not telling you. He leaned closer, breath warm against her rain-chilled skin. You don't get to walk away with something that makes your hands shake like that. It's not about you. He stared at her. Liar. Her chest tightened. This man saw through her too easily. Ji-woon's fingers brushed her wrist. Barely a touch. But Amina felt it everywhere. Stop running, he said quietly. You don't understand, she whispered. Then make me understand. A tear mixed with rain as it slipped down her cheek. Amina didn't want this moment. She didn't want to look him in the eyes. She didn't want to say it here, in the cold rain, under neon lights that made everything feel unreal. But she didn't have a choice anymore. She slowly placed the envelope in his palm. His fingers closed around it, slow, almost gentle. His eyes lifted to hers. What's inside? He asked. Her breath caught. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Ji-woon tore open the envelope. He pulled out a single sheet of paper, wet but still readable. His eyes skimmed it. The world seemed to stop. His breathing changed. His chest rose, fell, stilled. Lightning cracked the sky. Ji-woon lifted his head. His voice was low, raw, trembling with something she had never heard from him before. Amina! He stepped closer, paper trembling slightly in his hand. You're pregnant? Her lips parted, breath shaking. The alley felt too small. The night felt too loud. Her heart felt too fragile. She nodded, barely. Ji-woon's world seemed to rip open behind his eyes. He moved closer, too close, until she could feel the heat of his breath and the storm inside him. I don't care if you hate me, he whispered, voice trembling with something fierce. That's my baby inside you. Amina's knees nearly buckled. His hand lifted, slow, unsure, almost afraid, reaching toward her stomach. But before his fingers touched her, a gunshot exploded in the distance. Ji-woon froze. His eyes snapped toward the mouth of the alley. Another shot. Closer. Amina gasped. He grabbed her waist instantly, pulling her into his chest. Stay behind me, he growled. The footsteps were running now. Fast, sharp, echoing. Ji-woon's eyes hardened into pure, deadly steel. Someone followed you. No. Someone followed you, she whispered. Ji-woon clenched his jaw. The third gunshot hit the brick wall inches from Amina's head. She screamed. Ji-woon spun, shielding her completely with his body. A shadowy figure stepped into the alley. Ji-woon's grip tightened. Amina, he whispered, voice shaking with fury and fear. Don't move. The figure raised a gun, and the moment seemed to freeze. Right before, the shooter stepped fully into the light, revealing a face Amina instantly recognized. Someone she never expected to see again. The shooter stepped into the neon haze, rain rolling off the brim of his cap. Amina's breath collapsed in her chest. Marcus, she choked. Ji-woon stiffened instantly. The man in front of them, tall, dark-skinned, sharp-jawed, eyes blazing with betrayal, was the last person she ever expected to see in Seoul again. Her ex who had sworn he never wanted to see her again. Her ex who had humiliated her the night she left America. Her ex who didn't believe in second chances, especially not for her. Ji-woon's body shifted, stepping fully in front of her, one arm pushing her behind him, shielding her completely. You know him? Ji-woon asked without turning. His voice was calm. Too calm. A dangerous calm that made the rain itself seem to pause. Amina swallowed hard. Why, yes. That's Marcus. Her hands trembled. He shouldn't be here. I haven't spoken to him in. Marcus cocked the gun with a sharp click that sliced the air. That's right, he hissed. You didn't speak to me. You ran. Amina felt the words hit her like a punch. Marcus's eyes flicked to Ji-woon, cold, measuring, furious. So this is him, Marcus spat. This the man you disappeared with? The man you got pregnant for? Amina's throat tightened. Ji-woon's shoulders tensed. But Marcus wasn't done. He pointed the gun directly at Ji-woon. You think you can sleep with her one night and claim her child? You think you can take what doesn't belong to you? Ji-woon finally spoke. His voice was calm, deadly calm. She's not yours. Marcus's jaw clenched. Who said she ever stopped being mine? Amina flinched. Ji-woon's hand twitched, like he wanted to reach back and hold her, pull her close, erase every trace of fear from her skin. But he didn't. He stood still, silent, a wall between her and the danger. Put the gun down, Ji-woon said quietly. Marcus laughed, a broken, twisted laugh. You think I'm scared of you? He barked. I know who you are, Kim Ji-woon. I did my research. Mafia boss. Dangerous. Untouchable. Blah, blah, blah. Ji-woon didn't blink. Marcus's voice cracked with raw anger. She wasn't supposed to end up with someone like you. She wasn't supposed to. He stopped himself, chest heaving. She wasn't supposed to have your baby. Rain pounded harder. Amina stepped out from behind Ji-woon before she could think. Marcus, stop, she pleaded. You don't love me. You made that clear. So why are you here? Marcus's grip tightened on the gun. His voice dipped low. Because you left me for him. Amina shook her head, tears burning her eyes. I left because you hurt me. Over and over. You never wanted a future with me. You told me you didn't even care if I stayed or disappeared. Ji-woon's jaw clenched so tightly the muscles jumped. Marcus's voice cracked. That was before you left with somebody else. Amina took a steady step forward, though her knees trembled. I didn't leave with him. We met by accident. That night, everything just happened. Marcus's lip curled in disgust. Oh, it happened all right. Ji-woon's composure cracked. Just a little. Watch your tone, he warned, eyes narrowing. Marcus snapped the gun toward him again. You watch yours. Ji-woon's eyes darkened, not with fear, but with a cold, controlled fury. You're pointing a weapon at a pregnant woman. Ji-woon said softly. Marcus blinked. Thrown off. I'm pointing it at you. And she's standing right behind me. Ji-woon replied. The realization made Marcus pause. Only for a second, but 1 second was enough for Ji-woon to move. With lightning reflexes, he grabbed Amina's wrist and pulled her sharply to the side, just as Marcus fired a shot. The bullet slammed into the brick wall, where Amina had been standing. She screamed, stumbling into Ji-woon's chest. Marcus cursed, reloading instantly. Ji-woon wrapped one arm around her waist, steadying her as he backed him deeper into the alley. You okay? He whispered against her hair, voice clenched with fear he tried to hide. She nodded shakily. Marcus stormed forward. You think you can take her from me? You think you can hide her? Ji-woon pushed Amina behind a dumpster, shielding her with his own body again. His voice dropped to a cold whisper. You don't deserve to know her, much less claim her. Marcus raised the gun again. Then let's see which one of us she chooses. Before he could finish, a shout echoed from behind him. Put the gun down. 3 men rushed into the alley, wearing black suits soaked in rain. Ji-woon's security detail, eyes blazing with urgency. Marcus spun around in panic. Ji-woon stepped forward, voice icy. Touch that trigger again, he warned, and I promise you'll never lift your hand again. Marcus froze as the security team surrounded him. The tension snapped. The rain softened. Amina let out a shaky breath. Ji-woon strode toward Marcus, slow, controlled, deadly. Marcus's eyes widened. Stay back. Don't come near me. Ji-woon didn't stop. You pointed a gun at the mother of my child, he said quietly. Marcus's voice shook. She was mine first. No. Ji-woon's voice cut like a blade. She wasn't. Marcus swallowed hard. Ji-woon, you don't get to speak her name again. Marcus trembled. For the first time tonight, Amina realized Marcus wasn't the dangerous one in this alley. Ji-woon was, but he wasn't dangerous to her. He was dangerous for her. He turned sharply toward his men. Take him, he ordered. The security team moved in instantly, grabbing Marcus and wresting the gun from his hands. Marcus screamed, fought, cursed, but it didn't matter. Ji-woon didn't even look back at him. He walked straight to Amina. Rain dripped from his hair down to his jaw. His breathing still heavy, his eyes burning with both fury and something deeper, something fragile. He stopped right in front of her. His voice broke just a little. You could have died. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't expect him to. I don't care what you expected. His hands hovered near her arms, shaking slightly as if he wanted to touch her, but didn't trust himself. You're carrying my child, he whispered. Amina's breath hitched. Ji-woon finally let his hand rest on her arm. Warm, firm, protective. You're coming with me, he said softly. She tried to pull back. I can't just... He stepped closer, eyes locked onto hers. You're not safe. His voice trembled. And I'm not losing you. Not now. Her lips parted. Ji-woon leaned in just enough that his forehead almost touched hers. You hate me, he whispered. And I can live with that. His thumb brushed her wrist gently, the softest touch he'd given her yet. But I will never let anything happen to you. Or our baby. A crack of thunder roared above them. Before she could answer, one of Ji-woon's men rushed forward. Boss, we have a problem. Ji-woon turned sharply. What now? The guard swallowed. We found something in Marcus's pocket. Ji-woon frowned. What is it? The guard hesitated, then handed Ji-woon a small, folded photograph. Ji-woon opened it. His face drained of color. Amina stepped closer. What is it? She whispered. Ji-woon looked at her, eyes shaken, voice low. It's you. Amina's heart dropped. Me? A picture of me? Ji-woon swallowed hard. No. He turned the photo toward her. It's you, standing in front of my family's headquarters. Amina's entire body froze. She had never been there. Ji-woon looked into her eyes, voice barely above a breath. Amina, what were you doing there? Her lips parted, but no answer came, because she didn't know how that picture existed, and neither did he. The rain slowed, but the tension didn't. Not even a little. Amina stared at the photograph in Ji-woon's hand, her own face frozen in a moment she had never lived. Her breath hitched painfully. "That's not me," she whispered. Ji-woon didn't blink. "It is you." He wasn't accusing. He wasn't yelling. He was searching her eyes like they were the only truth he trusted in this cursed alley. Amina shook her head, voice trembling. "I've never even been near your family's headquarters. I don't even know where it is." Ji-woon stepped closer, drops of water rolling down his jaw. His expression tight with fear. He wasn't hiding well. "Look at the date on the corner." Amina looked. Her heart dropped. The date was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, she had been working a double shift at the cafe. 3 days ago, she hadn't even left her neighborhood. 3 days ago, she had zero contact with anyone except customers and her manager. Her voice cracked. "That's impossible. I couldn't." Ji-woon gently took her wrist, grounding her before her legs gave out. "Amina," he said quietly, "someone set you up?" Her breath trembled out of her. "But why me?" Ji-woon exhaled a slow, heavy breath. The kind of breath a man released only when he was trying not to panic. "Because you're connected to me now." Amina swallowed. 3 days ago, she didn't even know she was pregnant. Ji-woon continued, voice low. "And because someone wants to use you as leverage." Amina's stomach twisted. Leverage for what? Ji-woon didn't answer at first. His eyes drifted toward the end of the alley, where Marcus was being dragged into a black car by his man. Then back to the photo. Then back to her. When he finally spoke, his voice was controlled, but something fragile cracked beneath it. "My family is in the middle of a conflict," he said, "and someone is trying to make me vulnerable." He lifted the photo again. "And they chose you." Amina took a step back, fear rattling her bones. "So all of this, Marcus showing up with a gun, this picture, the threats, they're because of you?" Ji-woon flinched. He didn't look away. "Yes." Amina wrapped her arms around herself, the cold finally sinking into her skin. "So I'm in danger because I met you, because of one night with you." Ji-woon stepped forward instantly, as if every word she spoke physically cut him. "I never meant for this to happen. I never wanted." His voice cracked. "I never wanted you involved in my world." Amina exhaled a shaky breath. Too late. He closed his eyes for a moment, like he was praying for strength or forgiveness. When he opened them, the decision was already made. "You're coming with me," he said softly. Amina shook her head. "I'm not." He moved closer, his voice trembling with something fierce. "Amina, you were almost shot. Twice." Her breath caught. "You're carrying a child. Our child." Ji-woon's eyes darkened. "And someone is trying to use you to get to me." Amina felt her heart pound against her ribs. "But I don't want to live with the Mafia," she whispered. "I don't want guards following me, or danger waiting at my door, or—" Ji-woon's voice softened. "Amina." He stepped close enough that she felt the warmth of his breath. "No matter where you go, you're already in danger." Her chest tightened painfully. "You really think they'll stop because you go home alone?" he asked quietly. "You really think they'll leave you and our baby safe?" Her hands trembled. He leaned just a little closer. "You're safest with me." Amina's eyes burned. "This isn't fair." "No," he whispered. "It's not." A beat of silence fell between them, quiet but heavy, filled with all the things neither of them knew how to say. Then Ji-woon turned to his men. "Prep the car. We're leaving." Amina shook her head quickly. "I'm not getting in your car." Ji-woon turned back to her sharply, voice low and raw. "You don't have to like me." His gaze fell to her stomach. "But I'm not losing you. Neither of you." Amina opened her mouth to protest, but suddenly a sharp voice echoed down the alley. "Boss!" Another guard ran toward them, drenched in rain, breathing hard. Ji-woon tensed immediately. "What is it?" The guard hesitated, then held out a phone. "There's another message." Ji-woon's jaw clenched. "From who?" "We don't know. Blocked number. But they sent this." The guard handed the phone to Ji-woon. Amina's stomach twisted when she saw his expression shift. Just barely, but enough for her to see it. For Ji-woon, that flicker meant terror. "What is it?" she whispered. Ji-woon showed her the screen. Amina felt the blood drain from her face. It was a video, a blurry, grainy clip of her bedroom, her actual bedroom, the one she thought was safe. The timestamp? 40 minutes ago. The camera panned slowly across her pillows, her books, her coffee mug. her private space. Then the feed glitched, and a digitally distorted voice whispered, "Bring her home, Kim Ji-woon, before someone else does." Amina's breath shattered. Her knees nearly buckled. Ji-woon grabbed her instantly, steadying her, pulling her close without asking. His voice was low, furious, trembling with a fear he couldn't hide. "That's it," he whispered. "You're coming with me now." Amina stared at the phone, her body cold, her heart pounding so loudly she could barely hear him. For the first time, truly deeply, she realized she was no longer safe anywhere. And Ji-woon realized something too. Someone had been watching her before he even met her. Amina sat in the back seat of Ji-woon's armored black SUV, her hands clenched so tightly her nails pressed into her palms. The city light streaked past the tinted windows like blurred ribbons, blue, red, gold, but she didn't see any of it. Her mind replayed the video again and again. Her room, her safe place, her private world, violated. Her heart raced so fast she couldn't tell if it was fear or pure disbelief. Ji-woon sat beside her, silent, tense, eyes fixed on her more than the road. One of his men drove. Two others sat in front, alert, watching every mirror. The car was quiet except for the hum of the engine. Amina's voice finally cracked through the silence. "How long?" she whispered. "How long were they watching me?" Ji-woon's jaw tightened. "We don't know yet." Amina turned to him sharply. "You mean you don't know? You knew someone was after you. You knew your enemies were. They weren't supposed to come near you." His voice trembled with frustration. He was trying desperately to hide. "They weren't supposed to touch anything connected to you." Amina swallowed hard, her voice shaking. "And yet they were in my apartment, filming me." Ji-woon closed his eyes for a moment, breathing slowly, the way someone did when they were trying to keep their rage from tearing through the car. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. Amina blinked. Ji-woon Kim never apologized. At least not the kind of man he was, not the kind of power he carried. But he was apologizing now to her. "I didn't protect you soon enough." Amina looked away, tears stinging her eyes. "I didn't ask you to protect me." "I know," he said softly, "but I am." She didn't answer. Outside, the city grew denser. High-rises gleaming in the midnight rain, old alleyways tucked between modern buildings, taxis spraying water across the road. Then the car turned sharply toward a restricted road flanked by tall metal gates. Amina stiffened. "Where are we going?" Ji-woon faced her fully. "My home." Her pulse kicked. "I'm not moving into your house." "It's not a house," he corrected gently. "It's a guarded compound. High security. No one can get in." The car rolled to a stop before a massive steel gate. Armed guards scanned the vehicle, bowed to Ji-woon, then opened the gate. Amina swallowed. "You're serious." "Very." The SUV drove inside, through a courtyard surrounded by tall walls and sleek modern buildings. It looked less like a home and more like a hidden fortress disguised as luxury. Lights flickered beneath the rain, reflecting off polished stone pathways and bamboo trees, swaying in the wind. Amina's voice weakened. "And your family lives here?" "No." Ji-woon shook his head, tension flickering in his eyes. "This is my private residence. My family estate is somewhere else." He hesitated. Much more dangerous. The car parked beneath an overhang. The door opened. Ji-woon stepped out, then turned and extended a hand toward her. Amina didn't move. He kept his hand out. Not forceful, not demanding, just patient. "Please," he murmured. She didn't know why that simple word cracked her chest open, but it did. She put her hand in his. His fingers wrapped around hers gently, protectively, guiding her out of the car like she was something fragile he was terrified to break. Rain sprinkled across her braids, her jacket, the pavement. Ji-woon didn't let go of her hand. Inside, the lobby of the residence was warm. Soft lighting, dark wood, a faint scent of cedar and jasmine. Shoes lined the entrance, and a traditional Korean umbrella stand held several umbrellas. Amina looked around slowly. "You live here alone?" "For years," he replied. Amina frowned. "Why? Don't Mafia bosses usually have?" "I don't know." "People?" He gave a small, almost sad smile. "I don't trust people." A beat passed. He looked at her again, not with his usual intensity, but with something more vulnerable. "But I trust you." Amina froze. Soft footsteps echoed down the staircase before she could respond. A woman, elegant, mid-40s, hair in a neat bun, wearing a simple hanbok-inspired modern dress, rushed toward them. Her eyes widened when she saw Amina. You brought her, the woman breathed. You actually... Ji-woon nodded once. Un-suk, prepare a guest room. The safest one. The woman, his longtime housekeeper, apparently bowed slightly. Of course, Master Ji-woon. Amina's eyes widened. Master? He winced slightly. It's just formality. She's been with me since I was a kid. Un-suk gave Amina a warm, sympathetic look. You must be frightened, she said softly. Please don't worry. You're safe now. Amina nodded weakly, appreciating her kindness. But something bothered her. She turned to Ji-woon. I can't stay here forever. I have school. I have work. You'll continue your life, Ji-woon promised, but not without protection. Amina crossed her arms. I don't need bodyguards following me everywhere. Ji-woon stepped closer, lowering his head so he could meet her eyes directly. Amina, someone broke into your home. Her breath caught. They filmed you sleeping. Her spine trembled. They sent me that video without asking for money, without making demands, without threatening anyone. Amina's heartbeat grew louder. So what does that mean? She whispered. Ji-woon's voice dropped, low and serious. It means they don't want money. They don't want negotiation. He paused. They want you. Her stomach flipped. And the only way to get to you, he continued, eyes darkening, is through me. Amina stepped back instinctively. I didn't ask to be part of your world. I know. His voice cracked. And if I could take you out of it, I would. He took a slow breath. But now you're in it, whether you want to be or not. Amina looked away, trembling. This isn't fair. It isn't, he agreed softly. But I'm going to keep you safe. Just then, one of the guards rushed inside, dripping from the rain. Boss, he called urgently. We checked the perimeter again. Found something. Ji-woon's entire body tensed. What? The guard reached into a plastic pouch and pulled out a small object. Amina felt chills crawl up her spine. It was a bracelet, not expensive, not distinctive, just a simple braided bracelet with white beads. But Amina recognized it instantly. Her voice cracked. That's mine. Ji-woon's head snapped toward her. You have it. No. Her breathing quickened. I lost it weeks ago. Somewhere in the subway. I thought it fell off. The guard cleared his throat. We found it outside the back gate. Amina's pulse thundered. The back gate, the one we just drove through? No, the guard said. The one no one uses. Ji-woon's expression darkened, heavy, dangerous, cold. They were here, he whispered. Amina's throat tightened. Who? Ji-woon looked at her slowly. Whoever filmed you. The guard hesitated, then added, I don't think they were just watching, boss. Ji-woon's jaw clenched. What do you mean? The guard showed a second item, a folded slip of paper. But this time, the message wasn't sent to Ji-woon. It was written to Amina, in neat, slow handwriting. We've met before. You just don't remember. Amina's heart almost stopped. Ji-woon grabbed the note, his breathing sharp with fury. What does that mean? Amina whispered. Ji-woon folded the note tightly in his fist. It means, he said through clenched teeth, this isn't just about me. Amina looked at him, terrified. Then what is it about? Ji-woon met her eyes, and for the first time, he didn't have an answer. The night hit Seoul with a strange heaviness, the kind that made the neon lights look sharper and the shadows feel alive. The city murmured beneath the sky. Cars passing, late-night vendors packing up, distant police sirens weaving through the streets. Inside the glass-walled penthouse, the silence felt deeper. Hana stood near the long window, her hand resting slightly over her stomach, without even realizing it. Her mind raced. She had spent the last 30 minutes pacing the room, replaying every moment from the club, from the alley, from a night she tried to forget. And from the moment Jae-hyun said those words, that's my baby inside you, she couldn't unhear it. She couldn't escape it. Behind her, the elevator doors slid open with a soft metallic sigh. Jae-hyun stepped into the apartment with the same intense aura he carried everywhere. But tonight, something had changed. His charcoal suit jacket was gone, his shirt slightly unbuttoned, and there was tension in the tightness of his jaw. He had just returned from a meeting, a violent one, judging from the faint bruise along his cheekbone and the dark red smear on his sleeve. He didn't speak at first. He just stared at her, like he was checking if she was still breathing, still standing, still his. Hannah's heart pounded. Why am I here? She asked softly. Why did you bring me? You don't even like me. Jae-hyun's brows lowered. You still don't understand anything, do you? His voice wasn't angry. It was something heavier, controlled, protective, almost wounded. Hana stepped back from him. You're a mafia boss. I'm nobody. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be dragged into your world. He approached slowly, each step deliberate, his shadow stretching across the floor toward her. You were dragged into it the moment someone targeted you, he said. And I'm the only one who can protect you now. Protect me from who? Her voice cracked, her fear finally slipping out. He hesitated, just for a breath, then he turned his face toward the city, jaw tightening. The men who followed you tonight weren't random. Someone is after you. Someone who knows exactly who I am. Hana froze. What? Why would they target me? I don't even know anything. She placed a hand over her chest, trembling. This is all a mistake. I didn't do anything. Jae-hyun looked at her suddenly, sharply, as if she had said something impossible. You really don't know, do you? Hana's stomach twisted. No what? He didn't answer. Instead, he breathed out slowly, looking away like he was debating whether to reveal something he'd been hiding since the first night he saw her. Before he could speak, the penthouse lights flickered. Once, twice, then everything went black. Hana gasped. Jae-hyun grabbed her wrist instantly. Stay behind me. From outside the dark windows, the city still glowed, but inside the penthouse, darkness swallowed everything whole. A low, humming static filled the air. Then, a laser appeared on the wall. Then another. Then a third. Hana covered her mouth. Snipers. Jae-hyun muttered under his breath, voice low and lethal. They found us. Suddenly, the security glass cracked with sharp, explosive sound as a bullet struck it. Jae-hyun yanked Hana down, covering her head. Move. Now. Her pulse thundered as he pulled her across the floor behind the heavy marble counter. But before they reached fully behind it, Hana accidentally knocked over a glass bottle, and it rolled loudly across the floor. Silence. Then, a voice crackled through the penthouse speakers. A man's voice. Cold. Mocking. American accent. Well, Jae-hyun, you finally brought her home. Hana's eyes widened. She recognized the voice, because she had heard it once before, in a hospital hallway, in a nightmare she had spent months trying to forget. Jae-hyun's entire body went rigid. Hana, he whispered, without looking at her. Do you know that voice? Her throat tightened. Yes. I think so. Who is he? Jae-hyun asked sharply. Hana swallowed hard. It's the man who followed me abroad. The one who threatened me. Months ago. Jae-hyun turned slowly, eyes burning like a storm. That man, he said, voice trembling with fury, is the one who wants your baby. Hana gasped. My baby? Why? What does he want with me? Jae-hyun looked at her with an expression she had never seen before. Fear mixed with rage, mixed with something heartbreakingly protective. Hana, he whispered, leaning closer in the dark. There's something I never told you. Something I should have told you from the moment I saw you again. He swallowed hard. You're not just in danger because of me. His voice dropped to a raw, painful whisper. You're in danger because of who you are. Hana stared at him, breath broken. What does that mean? She whispered. Jae-hyun leaned closer, his shadow almost touching hers. It means, he whispered, you're connected to a secret that could destroy everything, including him. Before Hana could speak, a second bullet shattered the tempered glass. Jae-hyun pulled her fully behind the counter, shielding her with his body. Hana, he murmured, there's no turning back now. The truth is coming. And then the lights flicked back on, revealing 3 armed men already inside the penthouse. Hana's scream caught in her throat. Jae-hyun pushed her behind him, eyes blazing. Stay down, he ordered. The men raised their guns. Hana could only clutch her stomach and pray. As Jae-hyun stepped forward, jaw set, eyes cold, voice a chilling whisper. If you want her, you'll have to kill me first. Gunmetal shadows stretched across the penthouse floor as the 3 armed men stepped forward, their boots echoing in slow, deliberate thuds. The air felt tighter, heavier, like the whole room was holding its breath. Hana crouched low behind the marble counter, heart beating so violently she thought the men might hear it. Her palms were slick with sweat, her legs shaking uncontrollably. Jae-hyun stood in front of her, firm, tall, unmoving, his body a human shield. His voice dropped to a cold, deadly whisper. You have 3 seconds to walk out of my home alive. One of the men chuckled. You think we came here for you? His gaze shifted toward Hana's hiding place. We came for her. Hana's breath froze. Jae-hyun's jaw locked, eyes sharp as steel. You won't touch her. Not even you can protect her from the truth, Jae-hyun, the man said. She was meant to die months ago, but she slipped away. Jae-hyun's hands tightened at his sides. Hana's stomach twisted. Die? Why would she? What truth? She gasped softly, and that tiny sound, that faint, trembling breath, was a mistake. The leader smirked. There she is. He raised his gun. Jae-hyun moved. Fast. He grabbed a thick protective panel, part of a hidden security barricade, and pulled it down, shielding Hana just as a gunshot echoed. She covered her ears, eyes squeezed shut, shaking uncontrollably. Hana, stay down, he said, voice low, rushed, breathless. I can't. Her voice cracked. Jae-hyun, I'm scared. I know. He didn't look at her, but she could hear the raw emotion in his tone. And I swear, I won't let anything happen to you. The men advanced. Jae-hyun grabbed Hana's wrist, not rough, but urgent, guiding her toward the inner hallway. But as they moved, one of the men blocked the exit. He smirked at her. Oh, you look just like your mother. Hana froze. So did Jae-hyun. Hana's voice trembled. W, what did you say? The man tilted his head, mocking. Your mother and her pretty little secret, the one she tried to hide from the syndicates. Jae-hyun's chest rose sharply. Don't say another word. But the man grinned wider. She never told you, did she? That she was... A gunshot blasted through the air. The man jumped back, stunned. The bullet had hit the wall near his shoulder. Jae-hyun's warning shot. His voice dropped into a lethal growl. Touch another piece of her past, and I'll end you before you finish the sentence. Everything went still. The men hesitated, long enough for Jae-hyun to grab Hana again and pull her toward the emergency stairwell. As they ran, Hana's voice shook. My mother, what do they know about her? Why are they talking like that? Jae-hyun didn't answer. He pushed open the stairwell door, guiding her inside. The echo of distant footsteps chased them. Jae-hyun, Hana cried. Tell me, what's going on? Why would they talk about my mother? Why are they after me? Jae-hyun finally stopped at the landing. He turned to her, breathing hard, hair messy, eyes burning with something like pain. Hana, his voice broke a little. If I tell you now, you'll never look at your life the same way again. She swallowed, voice barely a whisper. Then tell me. I deserve to know. His gaze lowered to her stomach. You and the baby deserve more than chaos. You deserve safety. She shook her head. No more running. I need the truth. He exhaled sharply. Hana, your mother was connected to a powerful group long before you were born. She wasn't just an ordinary woman. And your father... Footsteps thundered up the stairwell. Jae-hyun grabbed her hand again, pulling her upward. They burst through a rooftop door into the freezing night. The wind whipped Hana's hair around her face, the city glowing far below them. She clutched her sides, breath shaky. Why won't you tell me? She demanded. Jae-hyun stepped close, the cold wind swirling around them. Because, he whispered, your past is tied to the same man who wants you dead. Hana froze. And my past? How? Why? Jae-hyun's chest rose and fell as if each breath hurt. Hana, his voice softened in a way she had never heard before. The man hunting you, the man speaking over speakers. He isn't just after you because of me. Her heart hammered painfully. Then why? She whispered. Jae-hyun looked at her with a mixture of fury and heartbreak. Because he claims he knows your real father. Hana's lips parted in shock. And my father? But he died before I was born. Jae-hyun shook his head slowly. That's what you were told. She stepped back, trembling. No, my mother wouldn't lie to me. The sound of the stairwell door slamming open cut through the night air. Hana flinched. Jae-hyun immediately stepped in front of her, shielding her again. Hana, he said without turning around, voice intense, urgent. Listen to me. Whatever is coming next, you need to believe one thing. What thing? He turned his head just enough for her to see the fierce sincerity in his eyes. I don't care if you hate me, he whispered, but I'm not letting them take you. Or the baby. Not now. Not ever. Men flooded onto the rooftop. Jae-hyun clenched his fists, positioning himself to fight. A cold voice echoed through the night air, the same voice from the penthouse. Step aside, Jae-hyun. She deserves to know who she really is. Hannah's breath caught. The man stepped forward slowly, moonlight glinting off his coat. And when he finally stepped close enough for Hannah to see his face, her entire world froze, because she recognized him from her childhood, from old photographs, from her mother's hidden drawer. Her vision blurred. "Impossible," she whispered. "You can't be—" The man smiled. "Hello, Hannah." His voice was soft now. "I've waited a long time to meet my daughter." Hannah staggered backward. Jae-hyun's entire body tensed. The rooftop lights flickered. Hannah's pulse stopped. Her father was alive. For a moment, the world stopped. The rooftop wind froze against Hannah's skin. The city lights below blurred into streaks of gold. Her ears rang so loudly she couldn't hear her own heartbeat. The man stepped closer, the moon casting a faint glow on his face. Older now, sharper jawline, silver touching the edges of his hair. But his eyes, those eyes matched the old, fading photograph hidden inside her mother's jewelry box. Hannah's breath trembled. "You," her voice cracked. "You're supposed to be dead." The man's expression softened with something painful. "No, Hannah, I was hidden, protected, for you." Jae-hyun stepped in front of her instantly, arm raised slightly, not touching her, but guarding her. "Stay back," he warned the man. "Whatever story you want to spin, it ends here." The man raised a hand calmly. "I didn't come to fight you, Jae-hyun. You brought armed men to my rooftop." Jae-hyun snapped. "This is a fight." Hannah pressed a hand against her chest to steady her breathing. "Why now?" she whispered, voice barely audible. "Why show up after all these years? Why let me think you were dead?" Her father, the man claiming to be her father, swallowed hard. "Hannah, I didn't have a choice. Your mother begged me to disappear, to keep you safe." Hannah shook her head slowly, disbelief tightening her throat. "My mother would never do something like that." A shadow of sadness crossed his face. "She didn't want my enemies to find you." Jae-hyun's eyes narrowed sharply. "What enemies?" The man's gaze shifted to him. "The same syndicate you've been fighting since you were 17. Jae-hyun stiffened. Hannah sensed it immediately. Tension, recognition. Fear he tried to hide. "You're lying," Jae-hyun said quietly. "You're trying to use her." "No." The man took one careful step forward. "Hannah is the last thread of a war that began before she was born." Hannah's legs weakened. What does that even mean? Her father looked at her with a kind of regret that made her chest tighten. "Hannah, your mother didn't just fall in love with me." He exhaled slowly. "She ran away from a powerful family for me. A family whose bloodline is tied to the syndicate." Hannah froze. "My mother? My mother was connected to them." The man nodded. "She wanted you far away from that world, from all of this." Jae-hyun stepped closer to Hannah protectively. "So why chase her now?" he demanded. "Why chase Hannah? Why threaten her life?" The man's eyes flickered with anger, not at Hannah, but at the men surrounding them. "Because the new syndicate leader wants control over everything tied to our bloodline." His voice hardened. "And Hannah is the only living heir." Hannah gasped. "Me? I'm—" She pressed a hand over her mouth. "I'm nobody. I work at a boutique. I don't have anything." Her father shook his head. "No, Hannah. You carry a lineage that could shift power in Korea's underground, whether you want it or not." Her breath caught painfully. "But then why attack me?" His jaw tightened. "Because if they can't control you," he swallowed hard, "they'll eliminate you." Hannah felt the rooftop tilt beneath her feet, her eyes filled with tears. "So all this time, all this fear, all the running." She looked at Jae-hyun. "It wasn't just because of you?" Jae-hyun didn't answer. His silence said everything. Hannah turned back to the man. "Why didn't my mother tell me? Why didn't she tell me who you were? Why keep everything a secret?" The man's eyes softened. "Your mother wanted you to live a peaceful life, far from my enemies and hers." Jae-hyun stepped closer, his voice low and firm. "And you think showing up now saves her?" Before the man could answer, a loud clang echoed from the stairwell. A new group of men burst onto the rooftop. More than before, dressed in darker suits, their leader younger, sharper, with a chilling calmness in his eyes. Hannah's father stiffened. Jae-hyun cursed under his breath. Hannah felt her stomach drop. The young man stepped to the front. "Good evening," he said smoothly. "My apologies for the interruption, but the girl stays with us." Hannah's father stepped protectively in front of her. "No, you're not taking her." The young leader smirked. "You don't own her." And you certainly don't own the child she's carrying. Jae-hyun lunged forward. Watch your mouth. The young leader's grin widened. Oh, right, the baby. He looked at Hana with cold interest. A child born from a Mafia heir and an heiress from a rival bloodline? That's a powerful combination. Hana's breath shook violently. What do you want from me? She whispered. The young leader shrugged lightly. Your cooperation. Your blood. Your child. Jae-hyun's fist clenched so tight his knuckles whitened. You're not touching her. Or the baby, he growled. The young leader chuckled. You think you can stop us alone? Even with her father? Hana's father stepped closer to Jae-hyun. Together, he said quietly, we can. For the first time, the two men, enemies, strangers, rivals, stood on the same side. The rooftop tension rose like a storm ready to explode. The young leader lifted his hand, signaling the attack. Hana's father whispered urgently without turning around. Hana, listen to me. Whatever happens next, run. Her breath caught. No, she cried. I'm not leaving you. Jae-hyun turned halfway toward her, voice sharp and emotional. Hana, stay behind me. The wind howled. The men stepped forward. Then the rooftop lights went out. Every single one. Darkness swallowed them. Hana screamed as hands grabbed her shoulders from behind, and a voice whispered, Found you? Pitch black. Hana couldn't see her own hands, couldn't see the rooftop, couldn't even see Jae-hyun. The darkness swallowed everything. The wind, the city lights, the distance between fear and survival. Hands clamped onto her shoulder from behind. Her breath slammed out of her chest in a broken gasp. Don't scream. A voice whispered into her ear, slow, calm, terrifyingly controlled. Hana froze. She knew that voice. It wasn't any of the attackers. It wasn't her father. It wasn't Jae-hyun. It was someone she had heard only once over the penthouse speakers. The mysterious voice giving orders. Hana, he murmured, we finally meet. She struggled, twisting her wrists, but his grip tightened. Firm, not hurting, but unbreakable. Let go of her. Jae-hyun's voice tore through the dark. Hana's heart nearly cracked at the raw desperation in it. A cold laugh answered him. You're too slow, Jae-hyun. You've always been too slow when it comes to her. A flicker, a spark, a single dim emergency light buzzed alive above them, casting the rooftop in a faint reddish glow. Enough to see silhouettes. Enough to see danger. Hana saw him, the man holding her. Tall, sharp suit, calm face, eyes like polished obsidian. The new syndicate leader. Jae-hyun rushed forward, but several men blocked him. He tried to push through, fury radiating off him, but the rooftop door slammed shut behind the attackers, cutting off the path. Hana's father stepped forward too, fists clenched. You don't touch my daughter, he said through gritted teeth. The leader's lips curved faintly. Your daughter? He turned Hana slightly toward the dim light, examining her face. She looks nothing like you. Hana flinched. I said let her go, Jae-hyun shouted, his voice cracking at the end. The leader ignored him. Hana, he whispered, you have something that belongs to me. She shook her head, trembling. I don't even know you. That's the point. He leaned closer, tone quiet, chilling. You were meant to grow up invisible, hidden, until the moment came for me to take back what was stolen. Nothing was stolen from you, her father snapped. The leader finally looked at him. Oh, are you sure? The rooftop fell silent for a heartbeat. Then the leader spoke again, voice smoother, heavier. You took my brother's wife, and you took their daughter. Hana's blood ran cold. What? She whispered. Her father's breathing faltered. Just for a second, just long enough to expose truth. No, he said firmly. That's not how it happened. The leader stepped closer, still holding Hana by the wrist. Your mother, he said softly, turning to Hana, was married before you were born. Hana's heart stopped. My mother was married? You're lying. The leader shook his head slowly. She tried to escape the family. But my brother, her husband, wanted her dead for it. Hana stumbled backward, but he held her steady. That's why she ran, the leader continued. That's why she hid you. His eyes narrowed. And that's why my brother wants you gone, Hana. Your existence is inconvenient. Jae-hyun suddenly surged forward, punching his way past two guards, rage overflowing. You're done talking, he growled. Let her go. The leader raised a hand lazily, signaling his men to hold position. You're loud, Jae-hyun, he said with amused calm. It would be admirable if it wasn't pathetic. Jae-hyun's glare could have burned steel. Hana, the leader said gently, turning back to her, you and your baby carry a bloodline born of betrayal. That child will grow up hunted unless you come with me. Hana's voice broke. I'm not going anywhere with you. The leader stared at her, quiet, unreadable. So you choose him? He flicked his eyes toward Jae-hyun, the man who brought the entire underworld to your doorstep. Jae-hyun's jaw locked. That's not. Yes. Hana cut in suddenly, breath shaking. I choose him. For the first time, the leader's calm expression cracked. Just a little. Jae-hyun froze. Her father exhaled shakily. Hana's pulse thundered. The leader studied her face again. Really looked this time. You don't even understand the war you're stepping into, he murmured. I understand enough, Hana whispered. I'm not abandoning my baby. Or Jae-hyun. The leader's gaze sharpened. Your baby? He tilted his head. Oh, Hana, you really don't know, do you? Her heart stumbled. Jae-hyun stiffened instantly. Don't, he warned. The leader smirked. You think the child is safe because you love him? His eyes gleamed. But that baby is more precious to this world than Jae-hyun is willing to admit. Hana swallowed. What do you mean? Jae-hyun stepped forward, voice low, urgent. Hana, don't listen to him. The leader leaned closer, whispering to her with chilling softness. That child is the inheritor of 2 rival syndicate bloodlines. Hana stared, frozen, empty, shock draining her breath. No, she whispered. No, Jae-hyun isn't. He said he was not just a Mafia boss, the leader murmured. Heir to the most dangerous syndicate in Korea. Hana's knees weakened. Jae-hyun stepped forward, face contorted with regret. Hana, I was going to tell you. The leader cut in. And you, my dear, are heir to the family we've been at war with for 27 years. Hana's heartbeat stalled. Her baby wasn't just a baby. It was a symbol, a threat, a future leader, a spark that could ignite the entire underworld. The leader let go of her wrist suddenly. She stumbled back into Jae-hyun's arms. He caught her instantly, steadying her, hands trembling. Her father stared in horror. The leader turned away. You have one night, he said calmly. One night to decide whether you stand with Jae-hyun or with the bloodline that created you. He walked toward the stairwell door, and his men followed like shadows. At the doorway, he paused. Choose carefully, he said without looking back. If you choose wrong, both you and the child die. The door slammed shut. Silence swallowed the rooftop. Hana's breath shattered. Jae-hyun tightened his arms around her, voice raw with fear and love. Hana, I'm so sorry. She pushed gently away from him, tears blurring her vision. Jae-hyun, her voice trembled. You lied to me. The mansion felt colder that night. Jisoo lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying the Mafia boss's words from earlier that day. Every syllable heavy, possessive, and confusing. No matter what happens, you and that baby are mine to protect. She didn't know why those words kept echoing in her mind. She didn't even like him. She shouldn't like him. He was dangerous, unpredictable, and way too controlling. But every time she remembered how he'd shielded her from danger, how his voice softened only when he spoke to her, her heart did this annoying little skip. She pressed a hand over her stomach. Don't start liking him, she whispered to herself. Don't be stupid. Suddenly, a loud bang shook the house. Jisoo shot upright. Footsteps pounded down the hallway. Quick panicked. Before she could move, her door flew open and one of Minji's bodyguards rushed in. Ma'am, stay behind me. Someone breached the perimeter. Her heart froze. Where's Min Jae? He's handling it, but he said, and I quote, if anything happens to her or the baby, don't bother coming back alive. So please stay close. Another explosion rocked the mansion. Closer this time. Jisoo stumbled backward as dust fell from the ceiling. Then a voice echoed from outside. Cold, cruel, familiar. Her ex. Jisoo, come out. I know you're in there. Her blood ran cold. The guard stepped in front of her, gun raised. Ma'am, step back right now. But the front door suddenly burst open, and Min Jae strode in, covered in dirt, breathing hard, fury burning in his eyes like wildfire. Get her to the safe room, he growled. The guard nodded and started to escort her away, but Min Jae grabbed Jisoo's wrist. His voice dropped, low and trembling with rage. I told you no one touches what's mine. Another explosion sounded outside, and Min Jae turned, eyes sharp, ready to fight. Jisoo's breath caught. For the first time, she wasn't scared of him. She was scared for him. The first rays of dawn cut through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the penthouse, bathing the city in gold. The streets below were still waking, but inside, the tension that had haunted them for weeks finally dissipated. Seojun stood by the balcony, his black suit jacket loosened, tie undone, the scars of battles past hidden beneath his composed exterior. Hana stepped closer, her hand brushing his sleeve, sending a shiver up his spine. The night they had faced together, the threats, the lies, the shadows of enemies, had left them raw, but alive, stronger than ever. "I never wanted you to go through this alone," Seojun said quietly, his voice steady but low, carrying the weight of every unsaid word between them. Hana shook her head, tears glistening in her eyes. "I wasn't alone. I had you." He reached for her, fingers tangling with hers, eyes locking. No barriers, no secrets, only the fragile honesty of their bond. "Hana, you've always been mine." From the start, from that night, his voice cracked slightly, raw with emotion. I knew there was no turning back. Hana smiled through her tears, a laugh escaping her lips that was half relief, half disbelief. "You scare me half to death." Seojun's lips quirked, a rare, soft smile. "And you still stayed. That makes you braver than anyone I've ever known." The wind carried the faint scent of cherry blossoms in the streets below, drifting through the open balcony doors. It was serene, almost magical, an unspoken promise of new beginnings. Hana placed her hand on her stomach instinctively, a small, intimate smile forming. "Our baby," she whispered, the words trembling but full of hope. Seojun leaned down, pressing his forehead to hers. "Our life, our family, nothing, and no one will ever take that from us." The sun rose higher, scattering the darkness that had clung to their lives. Hana wrapped her arms around him, and Seojun held her just as tightly, as if letting go was impossible. In that moment, the city, the crime, the danger, all of it faded to nothing. They didn't need words. The quiet hum of their hearts, the shared breaths, the warmth of skin against skin, spoke louder than anything else. For the first time, both of them felt a peace that was unbreakable. Seojun kissed the top of her head. The city sprawled beneath them like a playground of endless possibilities. "We start fresh today. Together." Hana's head tilted back to look at him, a mischievous, radiant grin forming. "Together," she echoed. And just like that, the storm of the past was gone. In its place was love, hard-earned and unshakable, a family bound not by blood alone, but by trust, sacrifice, and passion. Seojun pulled her close once more, whispering, "No one will ever hurt us again." And for the first time in a long time, Hana believed it. The city outside buzzed with life, unaware of the quiet victory above, unaware of the two people who had conquered shadows, fear, and a world determined to keep them apart. Inside, though, everything was right. Everything was theirs. And in that golden morning light, Seojun and Hana stood together, stronger, unbroken, ready for whatever came next. The end.